Say hi, Pip. Say hi, Renee. Hi. Say hi to Broadway vlogs. I was like, we can hear them up the stairs, so we might as well just say hi.
So we are here with Ariana DeBose, and you're in Hamilton at the moment, and you did previews also, and then you've been in Pippin on Broadway and Motown the Musical on Broadway, and Bring It On the U.S. tour and on Broadway. What is it like being on the big stage and only after a week performing for the president?
Oh my gosh. Incredibly thrilling. It's thrilling to have the opportunity to do that the first week of your performances. Like, how many times has the president seen a Broadway show? Actually, it's only 3. This president has only been to 3 Broadway shows during his term in office, and we're one of the 3. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And this week of previews has just been wonderful. It's like the audience is amazing and so excited and really, really interested. So it's been nothing short of thrilling. I try to stay calm about it, because if I don't, then I just kind of fly off the handle and don't know how to use my words.
You worked with Lynn in Bring It On. Did that help getting into Hamilton? Did I read that right?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely didn't hurt having worked with Lynn prior to Hamilton. And it was really great because I sort of knew his language. I could speak his language. So I definitely felt like I had a leg up. And then Andy Blankenbuehler is the choreographer, and he directed Bring It On. So being able to work with him again is really quite fantastic. I'm in a stairwell, so people probably won't see.
What is your favorite thing about Hamilton, like the show?
Oh, wow. Well, actually, it's funny. I am one of the first cast members to get to see the show. I saw it Friday night because I dislocated my shoulder on Wednesday. So I was out for 2 shows. So I actually have a real answer to this question. One of my favorite things about the show, God, I have so many, but one of them is honestly just the storytelling via the movement and the lyrics. Like, they go together so seamlessly, which is like a testament to how well how well Andy interprets Lynn's lyrics. It's just thrilling to watch a story that is so clear through movement, because sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes you see musicals and the choreography is beautiful and lovely, but it has nothing to do with furthering the plot.
You did Pippin, which has a lot of acrobatics and movement and stuff. Do you have a background in acrobatics, or did you have to work on learning how to do all of that?
I have absolutely no experience in acrobatics. None. Except for, I guess if you count cheer stunts. I did a couple of those in Bring It On, so I knew how that sort of thing worked. But I had to start from scratch, basically, and covering leading player. She has 2 different, what is it called? I literally just blanked. All of any of my acrobat friends from the show see this, they're gonna be so mad. Oh my gosh, but you fly in the air and you hang from a bar. Trapeze, it's called trapeze. She has 2 different trapeze routines, and I had to build all sorts of strength in my upper body because you are not in a harness. So you're up in the air by yourself. So good luck. If you fall, hold on. So yeah, it was definitely a big challenge. I'm also scared of heights. Or I was scared of heights, so I had to learn to get over that very quickly.
What role do you want to play soon one day?
Oh my gosh. I would love to play Roxy Hart in Chicago. It's not often that people write for triple threats, dancers who are actual dancers and who are great actors and great singers and great storytellers. And that happens to be a role that I think is really well crafted.
Has anything really funny happened yet backstage or on stage that wasn't really supposed to happen, but it did?
I fell. I actually like fell behind a candle cart. We have when you guys see the show, you'll understand what I mean by candle cart. But I fell, and actually, it was the show that the president was at. So I hope it was covered. If not, he was like, "What's happening with this chick backstage or behind the candle cart?" Um, but nothing like laugh out loud has really happened yet. But during our run at the public, we were about to start the show, and Lynn, kind of goes around backstage and it's, hugging everyone, hugging Pippa, and Pippa was like in a grand plie stretch, and Lynn tried to like copy her, and he split his pants before the show started. So that was pretty great. And once everybody heard about that, well, he never lived it down. In fact, he still has not lived it down.
What is your favorite stage story that you have from any show?
I Most of my stories happen on stage. They never really happen backstage, which is funny. You should absolutely not be like horse playing on stage, but and I'm not really horse playing. Most of the time I'm really serious and really crazy stupid things just happen to me. Um, but I my first night in Pippin actually, I made it through basically the whole show and I got to the last like big scene that I was doing as my noble ensemble track, and basically you're running around with feathers, looking pretty, like moving a bed. I think it was one of the bed scenes with Pippin and Catherine, and we moved it, and I was like, yes, I hit my spike, and I'm running into the wing. It's dark, and I absolutely fall over an elephant. Like literally face first, my feet are flying, and it's sort of like you can feel the audience go, ooh, you know what I mean? It was really silly. Oh God, that was so embarrassing. Then I used to love to watch Taylor Louderman mess up her lyrics on stage. She didn't do it often, but when she did, it was really great because she would completely blank and like just start making things up, and somehow it would rhyme and still stay on the plot. I don't know how she did that, but it was both hilarious and like amazing.
Have you had an awesome stage door experience yet?
Yeah, actually, well, it's funny. It was the night I wasn't in the show, and I came out of the stage door, and there was this gaggle of really cute girls just hanging out, and they're like, Ariana, oh my gosh. They actually knew who I was, and I don't think there are any small parts in our show. Like everybody's really vital, but to walk out of the stage door and somebody realized like who I was
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still in the show even though they didn't see me was kind of amazing as far as like a personal experience. Um, that was just so lovely to know that someone noticed my work or has noticed my work in the past enough to want to say hello
Mm-hmm.
at a show that I wasn't even in. And then our first preview night stage door was crazy insane. Like everybody just got giant applause when we came out. It was wonderful. The love and the energy was awesome.
What was the first Broadway show slash tour that you saw, and did that impact your life as an actress?
Oh wow. I think the first show I ever saw was Rent. I saw it much later in the run,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because I was not born when it came out, I don't think. But that was my first Broadway show, and I absolutely fell in love with the girl with the blue, and she had blue shorts and a cheetah jacket. I wanted to be Mimi so bad. And what was funny was I was like, I could totally do that. I think I could do that. I was probably 7 years old. And then I saw Aida, and I was like, oh, I totally want to do that. But what's interesting is I went back home and I just studied dance. I thought it was really cool that people could make money singing and dancing, but I just wanted to dance. And then eventually I made my way back to theater. But I think those seeds were definitely planted with those first two shows.
What show do you want to see that's on Broadway right now?
Oh, there's so many shows that I want to see but can't see because I'm in a show. What a great problem to have. I have yet to see Fun Home, and I would love to see that show. A because it's a, a public theater transfer. I'm a huge fan of pretty much anything and everything the public theater produces. And I'd also kind of want to see, like, I kind of want to see Amazing Grace because it's on one of the only other like new shows on Broadway right now, and I don't really understand the story yet, so I'd like to see it to understand. And I also would like to see American in Paris because I hear it's really beautiful. The dancing is really beautiful, and I want to see how they're acting through their movement.
Mm-hmm.
Any show that is like a dance musical, that's what I'm always looking for. I was like, yes, the movement is beautiful, but is there good acting?
We asked a couple other people what they wanted to see, and they all said Hamilton first.
Hamilton. I love that. Well, everybody come see it. It's really good, I promise.
Do you have any rituals for getting ready for the show?
I warm up. I do a very long warm up because my whole show is dancing and it's 3 hours long, or it feels 3 hours long to me. Um, but I do like a yoga based warm up, and now I do a lot of arm exercises to build the strength in my shoulder. And I kind of try to like focus on breathing a lot because when you do that much cardio in the show, you have to remember to breathe. Otherwise, you just kind of tire yourself out even faster. So yeah, that's my like one ritual.
Some shows have like cast rituals in between scenes or something. Does Hamilton have any?
You know, we don't do anything in between scenes, but we kind of circle up at the top of the show and either say a little prayer or just like do a little chant just nightly. And typically it's like Chris Jackson and Lynn at the center of the chant. Those guys.
What is your all-time favorite musical?
Gosh, that's a hard question. My all-time favorite musical. I don't know that I have one. That's so weird. Like I don't know that I have an all-time favorite musical. I loved Aida. I thought that production of Aida was just miraculous. Um, and I love Rent because it's just so different. And that to like see storytelling like that is rare and beautiful, and to see something that is cutting edge. I mean, I also love Hamilton because it is all the things that Rent was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, beautiful and cutting edge and smart and politically and culturally valid, and it's all those things. So yeah, my all-time favorite musical is Hamilton.
What was your first cast album, and was it special to you, or was it just like another album that you usually buy?
You know, is it weird that I say Cats was my first Cats album?
No.
And it was special to me because I really loved the Jellicle Ball. But, you know, I quickly figured out that there were other Cast albums that I needed to be listening to, not just McCavity.
What was the process of Hamilton going from rehearsals to Broadway?
Oh, wow. Well, it was quick. We only had a 10-day rehearsal process before we went into tech. And we teched it in less, I think total time, less than a week. So, but we have 32 previews, which is really great, and we're continually like making changes and tweaks. But it's definitely been fast. That's the one thing I can say is like you just have to stay on your toes. New York, you're loud. Sorry.
Do you have any tips for stage fright?
Gosh, just keep breathing. I still get really nervous. Um, I think you just have to like become a different person. When I get the worst bout of stage fright, I just sort of try to forget that I'm Ariana and I try to become someone else. You know, like, and sometimes it's someone really ridiculous. Like today, I'm gonna be Betty White. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it helps me. It helps me get through that stuff. But I totally know how you feel. Stage fright is the worst.
What theater do you want to do a show in one day?
That's a good question. You know, I kind of would like to play a show at the Gershwin, but Wicked's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no.
So I gotta figure out what I can play in Wicked. Right now it's looking like Nessa Rose, which I kind of think is an underrated character. She's great. Like she's got a lot going on in my mind emotionally.
Hmm.
But and everybody wants to pop wheelies in a wheelchair. Duh.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
obviously.
So yeah.
And wear the silver shoes.
And wear the silver shoes,
Yeah.
man. I wear the silver shoes. I love playing villains. And to play a villain in a big house, ooh, if you do your job right, you feel all the hate rays. You know what I mean? But they're like conflicted hate rays because it's